Special Counsel Robert Mueller is on a witch hunt to destroy President Donald Trump. Mueller's actions prove he wants Trump gone, hiring only Barack Obama Hillary Clinton donors as his team of attorneys and now impaneling a grand jury, where it's alleged he'll bring bogus criminal charges against Trump. All Mueller's got are these Russian witnesses, and who they are is so absurd, it will blow your mind. Every American needs to see this. This coup attempt against President Trump started with former FBI Director James Comey and his grudge against the president for firing him. Comey played the system and leaked memos to the New York Times, trying to make it appear as if Trump had fired him for not backing off this whole Russia probe. It was a grand lie by Comey, but it did its damage. Immediately, Democrats called for a special prosecutor because Trump had obstructed justice. No, Trump had fired Comey, which he has a right to do for whatever reason he likes, but that didn't matter, as Comey later said. I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel. That began the biggest setup of a sitting president of the United States ever. Comey's best buddy, Robert Mueller, got the job, which that in itself is something that should have led Mueller to recuse himself. But, no, not only does Mueller march on in his witch hunt, he hires every Obama-Clinton lawyer in Washington, D.C. Now, it's been leaked that Mueller has called a grand jury. A grand jury is supposed to be secret, but nothing with these rats out to get Trump is secret. Mueller's investigation was to be limited to Russia interference in the 2016 election and whether anyone in Trump's campaign had colluded with them. Now, here's where this gets really scary. Mueller couldn't find one iota of evidence against Trump or anyone in Trump's campaign. Can you just see Mueller and his team of rats scurrying to find anything that connects Trump to Russia? They have to go back to 2011. That's right, you see, Trump, as a real estate mogul, actually had Russian tenants in Trump Tower. Sources described Mueller's investigation that has widened to focus on possible financial crimes, some unconnected to the 2016 elections, reports CNN. This includes the list of shell companies and buyers of Trump-branded real estate properties and scrutinized the roster of tenants at Trump Tower reaching back more than a half-dozen years, as well as the backgrounds of Russian business associates connected to Trump surrounding the 2013 Miss Universe pageant. You might think this is a joke, right? Nope. This is all Mueller can muster, and he is taking a page right out of the Rachel Maddow book of nonsense that she has been spewing for the last 6 months. At the center of this is this Russian mobster couple, Vadim and Elena Trincher. Vadim Trincher, a Russian businessman and power player, lived in the 63rd floor unit at Trump Tower, and was sentenced to 5 years in jail for his illegal happenings at the tower, reported NY Daily News. Trump got the news about the grand jury and the Russian witnesses and mocked Mueller on stage in West Virginia. Besides Trincher, Mueller is looking at any Russians who owned any Trump property in the last 10 years. They found another oligarch with nefarious ties who own one of his Florida properties. Now, what does this have to do with Russia interference in the 2016 election? Not a damn thing. In fact, here's how ludicrous this is. Mueller is alleging that these Russians knew in 2010-13 that Trump would become president and thus bought real estate in some unexplainable scheme. Right, not even the media knew Trump would win on election day. So how did these Russian gangsters know Trump would be president 7 or more years ago? Lastly, this is out of the scope of what Mueller is supposed to be investigating. Let's say bad Russians owned Trump properties. What does that have to do with the 2016 election? It's none of Mueller's business, yet he is calling Russian witnesses who previously owned Trump property to testify in front of the grand jury. It's time for Americans to have our president's back and call out Mueller and his minions in this witch hunt that is costing us millions of dollars. Get rid of Mueller, stop this bogus investigation, and get back to fixing the real problems in America. Please share the story and tell us what you think by clicking one of the buttons below. We want to hear your voice.